At BLP, I think we're very interested in the person, so a lot of the qualities that we look for relate to what a person's like to work with. So we look for people that are enthusiastic, that they're nice, that they're team players, they're good at building relationships. We also look for people who can show drive and an understanding of the firm and the profession that goes just beyond regurgitating things from a website. So a real deep research and understanding, not anything too superficial.
Key skills that we're looking for are the ability to solve problems, to analyse data and come up with commercial solutions. We also are looking for people who can work effectively in a team, who can be very proactive and who can manage their time effectively.
As you'd expect, Allswang's lucky enough to work with some of the largest players in the tech, media and telecoms markets, but we also work with smaller companies and startups. So if you can come to us and talk about not only the big deals, but some of the smaller deals, or perhaps how we've helped on a pro bono basis, that's the kind of thing that will really set you apart and also show us that you're the kind of person that is like us, that's like the lawyers that already work at Allswang, and that will really impress.
I think what's really unique about our application process is the simplicity of it. All we ask candidates to do is send in a copy of their CV together with a covering letter, and that's really it.
We run an immersive assessment centre, so the day consists of 4 exercises but with a theme and a sort of scenario that's consistent throughout the day. That includes a group exercise, a written exercise, a presentation and an interview.
So more and more universities are running mock interviews and mock assessment centres. These can be a really important tool to really practice your interview technique, and they'll be helpful when it comes to doing the real thing.
Do your homework. There's a wealth of information about law firms out there, and it's always very obvious to us if someone's only looked at our website.
It's important to make sure that you're doing wider research into the firm. The website is a great place to start, but as I say, you need to be making sure that you're doing that wider research. So looking onto our social media channels and also reading our annual review will give you some more information that will really impress the interviewers when it comes to the real thing.
Do think about the key things about yourself that you want to make sure you get across to us. Is there a particular area of law or a particular sector you're interested in that maps on quite nicely to what Bird & Bird does? Or do you have a particular skill or experience that you think is particularly relevant to us?
It's also important to think about the people on the interview panel. There'll be a graduate recruiter and a partner, so make sure you have a question prepared for each of them.
Think about what it is about Bird & Bird that you want to find out during the process. It's a really great opportunity to really speak to people and pick their brains and to find out as much about the firm as you possibly can. Everyone on our team is really happy to have a really open discussion on your questions, so please do just ask.
So the DWF training contract is quite unique. We offer 6 4-month seat rotations, so this gives you a wider breadth of opportunity really to experience all of our practice groups.
So another thing that is fairly unique about Bird & Bird is that in some cases we've managed to arrange work placement for our future trainees before they've actually joined the firm, which both obviously gives them a good exposure to some of our clients before they join the firm, but also helps to raise their profile within the firm before they've even arrived.
There are many benefits of going on secondment. I think one of the main ones is really understanding the culture. So the culture of how businesses work outside of Europe. So we often send trainees to Europe and the Middle East, and the way businesses operate and the nuances can often be very different. And I think trainees really begin to understand that if they do an international seat.
In your second year as a trainee, you're eligible to apply for international secondments at Slaughter and May, which I think are a great way of experiencing a different culture and a different way a law firm operates. We send trainees to a whole range of various jurisdictions to sit with firms that we work with all the time, and it's a really invaluable way, for example, of experience what it's like to work at the leading Wall Street firm in New York, for example.
Additionally, one of the benefits of doing a secondment is the international offices tend to be a little bit smaller than the London office, so you might be the only trainee working on a particular transaction, which means you get a full scope of everything that's going on. So in effect, you're treated as an associate during those 6 months.